I just want to thank you for taking that time to do this. I know you're trying to shepherd your own community through this and the broader city of Madison through this. And so I just really appreciate you taking some time to speak to your body politic denominationally and to the broader church because we need your wisdom.
Sure. And Dominic, let me just say, our church adopted into the covenant almost 10 years ago because we were convinced that this is what covenant is concerned about and what it wants to be about. And so I don't see myself as an outsider. So I appreciate being able to speak to the body because I'm a covenanter. And as a covenanter, I've earned the right. People have given me the right to speak lovingly into this. And this is an opportunity for us to walk out and live out what it means to be the people of God. I mean, for the last 4 weeks, we've been chasing COVID-19 and we need to. But what's just happened is what Black people have been saying, but it's the pre-COVID stuff that's got us here. It's the pre-COVID stuff that's got us here. And we got to understand this. And this stress goes somewhere, Dominique. I know you're trying to edit this, trying to move on, but let me just say, I was invited into a closed conversation with a group of physicians and community activists. I was the only faith leader invited, or who showed up, about 20 of us. We discussed the rules for ventilator allocation for the state of Wisconsin. I was depressed for about 3 days after that meeting. Because on one hand you think, oh, this is interesting. What you realize though, bruh, is that these conversations have always happened. We just weren't at the table.
Yep.
So who's going to get the vaccine? Who's going to get the penicillin? Who's going to get this? Who's going to get that? Who's going to get the best loan? Like there's a back room. I just happen to be in it with a handful of other Black people. And what they were saying or wrestling with is, do pre-existing issues rule you out? Well, I know enough, I've researched enough, I've read enough that the microaggressions are now causing that inside people of color, particularly Black people, have now become social determinants of health. Yep. So wait, so you all are talking about people who have diabetes and hypertension because they live in Black and brown in America, in Wisconsin. So they develop these diseases and trying to wrestle with this fear for their mother's nursing home, fear for their children, fear for their spouses, their families, and themselves. Now you're going to punish people who lived a punished life by saying if you get COVID-19, you don't get a ventilator?
Because you hold the trauma in your body.
Because you hold the trauma in your body. So now we're sitting here. So I feel like those of us who are people of color were like, we had to like plead. It's like we're sitting in front of a computer like, no, you have to rethink this. We have to talk about pre-existing issues and blah, 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 blah. These people didn't know that. They're just thinking like scientists. Well, why would we give a kidney to someone who has been damaging? Why give, a liver to someone and they're just going to go back and start drinking again? Why? It was like so matter of fact. Thank God they were listening. We think, we hope, we pray. Fortunately, the curve is flattened in our part of Wisconsin so that we've not had the run on hospital. But just, they didn't say Black and brown people, Dominique. They said pre-existing issues. And you and I know that means Black and brown people. That scared me, man. It took me about 3 days to get right after that because the discussions happen. So we're not just talking about Johnny reading. We're not just talking about P.O. holes. We're not just talking about someone not putting the change in my hand when I hold it out at the counter. We're now talking about ventilator allocations for the most deadly and costly pandemic in recent history, if not in world history. And it's revealing that Black people are dying more. We're not even asking the question, did they get a ventilator? Did they die at home or on the ventilator? Like, we don't even really know.
Yeah.
And so this injustice, you all, is a matter of life and death. And so when we talk about the pressure, we have to keep all of that in mind. And because many of us as African Americans pastor outside the church, that's just expected that that's what you do. That wasn't a covenant meeting. That wasn't a Black ministers meeting in Madison. That was a meeting of the minds, the medical and scientific minds of our state. Someone who's a physician in there happened to recommend me, and I got to speak up on behalf of the injustice. those who are hurt by the injustice. But what if we sat in the room and didn't speak up?
Yep.
What if we said, yep, pre-existing issues, that sounds pretty bad. Why didn't you eat better? Why didn't you eat organic? Why didn't you go to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's? And so, Covenanters, you're in a similar meeting, and people are making decisions about who gets food, who gets housing. Heck, who gets Christ? Because of how we present him or don't. Your silence will cost someone their lives. And speaking up will help someone eventually begin to think differently, but you have to keep talking, keep talking, keep talking.